So, Vera, I'm really interested to hear about the story that you started telling me, but I want to hear the whole thing. So, you were talking about destiny. So, please, tell me about this story.
Yeah,
I want to hear it.
yes, I would love to. Well, we were kind of like talking a bit about manifestation and alignment and the power that we have to create our own reality. And we are absolutely the co-creators of our every moment, and the keys and the little tools that we have um, for that are so powerful. And one day you and I will have that conversation about the power tools for manifestation and alignment.
Yeah.
But because manifesting and aligning right now is such a famous ingredient to life, that everybody's tuning into that frequency of, okay, I'm a co-creator and I can truly direct the flow of my life and direct the energy and the abundance and the blessings in every experience that I have. And as I was talking to my soul council about the tools for manifestation and alignment and this talk that I wanted to have with you about it, I had this presence, this powerful presence show up right in front of me, an embodiment, beautiful embodiment of destiny. And the way it very strong feminine energy. And I'm not saying that I just want you to be able to really feel the essence of destiny, because destiny is the way she's telling me, destiny is our queen, like she really holds a powerful, fruitful vibration. And she showed up to me and she just started whispering in my ear and saying, Vera, please help bring back the awareness of destiny, because people are so focused on becoming the directors of their life, the control of co-creation, that they've completely forgotten or not tuning into the element of destiny. Because you see, yes, our energy flow, our focus creates our reality, but she's strongly reminding me to talk about that there is a large percentage of experiences that have been predestined for every soul to experience, because that is the part of the expansion, that is the part of the soul growth and mastery. So you see, I'll give you an example, because I'm tuning into her right now, and she's like, just give examples. So I'll give you an example. I've had some clients that really wanted me to tap into the intuitive frequency of the lottery numbers, right? They do really want, like, I want to win the lottery. And I was like, okay, like, so does everybody else on this planet. And I told them, like, if it's meant for you, you will win. All you have to do is play. If you don't play, you don't win, right? So like, okay, I will play, but I want you to give me some numbers. And I kept reminding her, I was like, if you're not, when I point at my throat, that means my vocals are changing. That means source is speaking. And I told her, I just want you to know that if it's not within your destiny frequency, within your karmic field, it's not going to happen, right? So I gave her the numbers. I tuned in, I gave her the numbers. She played the numbers. That night, she's sitting there. She knew the numbers. She had them written down. She's sitting there, and every number called, she could not find the ticket for the life of her. She never got to collect the money.
Oh my gosh.
destiny. People that win
Wow.
lottery, people that win lottery within months become broke again. They are not designed, they are not predestined to experience that experience. We have to start honoring the experiences that we have in our life. And you could tell the difference between manifestation and alignment and destiny. You could totally, it's in your face. She's such a queen that she shows up and you just know, like, you know, you've met those people that you're like, oh my gosh, you were just destined to do this. You were just predestined to have that experience. Like, you know, and it's just, it's time for us, that she's telling me, it's time for us to not only tune in into our creative aspect, but also tune in into our destiny aspect within ourselves. So I would love for you to tune in into that vibration, to tune in into that frequency of destiny. She left me some notes. I want to find those notes because what she said to me was very powerful. But while I do that, I would totally love for you to share your communication. If you could feel the embodiment of destiny, if she just showed up right in front of you right now, what do you think she would communicate to you?
Okay, I'll do that. Go find your notes.
I'm finding my notes. It's just, it's,
what a beautiful energy of
yeah.
Of how do you, what is the word? It's like it's almost like my higher self is standing next to her, holding her hand.
Okay.
And
before you go, because you're tapping right there, because something profound she said to me. So I'm gonna read my conversation with her, like what she communicated to me, and then I really want you to develop this conversation into, it's gonna be beautiful. Okay, so just reading my notes, this is how it's gonna, I'm saying exactly what she has spoken to me. Destiny, a voice of destiny. People have forgotten about destiny. There's such programming of control of life through manifestation and alignment that the most popular program right now is creating with your mind, right? Creating with your mind, where visualize things, focus on things. However, only a small percentage of people are able or get the results from these programs. It's not because they aren't capable to tap into co-creation. It's because destiny is the queen that still rules. Multiple people are talking about the laws of the universe. Half of those people don't even truly comprehend what they are talking about, because they are simply sharing the information that has been written by someone else. So what she's trying to tell me, that a lot of people that are even using like the law of attraction and all these laws of the universe and all the stuff that they're talking about, they don't even know exactly what they're talking about, because they're simply relating information, mind to mind to mind to mind. You know, they're simply relating the information that's been passed down. They're not even talking about their own intuitive thing. So there's only a handful of people that are actually connecting and communicating and have an authentic relationship with the universe. And then and in the inner with the universe, and understand, she's telling me, understand how it truly works. And none of those people have written books or talked about it. So she's trying to explain to me that people that truly work with the universe and truly co-create and manifest, these are not the people that are talking about the laws and here's my book on manifestation and here's all these programmings that you're supposed to do that apparently work but don't work for everyone. It's an intimate relationship. More than half of these universal laws that you hear or read about are again man-made laws with the use universe as its catalyst. That she's saying to me that a lot of people that creating all these universal laws are actually man-made laws. They're just using the word universe as a catalyst so that people pay attention to that. The other half of these universal laws that you read and hear about are science-based, scientists that study and test the universe. So the laws of the universe that you hear and read about are a very small portion of it is actually true. Many of the people have really figured out how to use these terms, the law of the universe, to their advantage, and are now coming up with invented strategies of co-creation based on their individual benefits. So she's trying to tell me that many people have figured out that if they use the word, the law of the universe, this, and that, they can create with their own strategy of co-creation that will work to benefit them, not even the people that they're teaching how to use these tools, right? This can be, she's saying that this can be harmful and an unpleasant experience based not on the law of the universe they present, but based on your destiny. So if these people, okay, thank you, I hear you. All right. So these people that are saying to you, if you do this, and this, and this, and that's the law of the universe, we are guaranteed that you will have these and these and these kind of results. She's saying that it actually could be very harmful to some of the individuals that are getting this program.
Totally agree.
Because it won't work for them on many levels. Because if they are not destined to have this experience, you cannot guarantee them that experience. So every single person wants to be so she's giving me examples now. Every single person wants to be wealthy. Can every single person manifest that? No. Destiny has a purpose. Millions have great talents and gifts. Does millions of those people are going to be famous and become a superstar? No, because destiny has an effect. Many are healing themselves powerfully. Can everyone achieve healing? No, because destiny has a cause. Love is the most powerful experience. Does everyone gets to experience it all the time? No, because destiny has a motive. Many of people are falling into a program of manifestation and alignment. Does every single person manifest and aligns with their desire or intention? No, because destiny rules. She's a powerful force and a magnificent queen. In fact, working with destiny, connecting and communicating with destiny is the most empowering thing one can do in their life experience. She's not only your queen, she's your source self. And this is where I want to talk to you about, because you tapped into that real quick. They stand side by side, your source self and the destiny frequency. They stand side by side. They work as one.
Yeah.
And I feel like after I had this conversation with her, my whole perspective on co-creation changed. And I'm like, that's why this didn't happen. That's why I was so close to this one. That's why I began to have this experience, and then it shifted right away to have this experience, because we've forgotten about the things that we are destined to experience.
Yeah. Totally makes sense. It's very interesting that you're talking about this, because yesterday, I had a session yesterday. There's 2 sessions, and I'm going to talk about the second one. So the visualizations that came in straight away was, I was outside of Saturn, and outside of Saturn, there is a meeting space that is created through a mirror perspective, if that makes sense. So it looks like a sphere, but it's a mirror and you can't see it. It's like you have to go through the mirror to get inside. It's a very difficult thing to explain.
I actually, as you're saying it, I can see it. So
yeah. And I walked in, and it was like a kind of like an oval room, but there's no walls, because you can still see the space, but the room is oval. And also like a light that is oval on this oval table. And I walk in, and I immediately see in front of me a mantis being, and he is wearing the Federation suit as well. It looks like white, kind of like light bluish, with these inlays that if you move, it kind of lights up, and it's so cool. And on the side, there is a Merkaba that looks like it's spinning. That's what the image looks like.
I love it.
And I walk in, and Karine says to me, "What do you look like?" So I look down, and I am a Pleiadian. I'm my Pleiadian, Isla. And I'm also wearing this suit. Now, we're sitting there, and it's almost like we're there for a very specific purpose.
Yeah.
And guess what the Federation, well, there were about 200 beings in the end in the entire space. And the one thing they said is they are sending codes that we are going to be downloading to correctly interpret the laws of the universe. And you were just talking about that right now.
Yeah.
These messages that are coming out, it is from mind to mind to mind to mind to mind. It's a game of telephone. It is a distorted message that is passed on, and then in the end, received and then given again, but in a distorted perspective. And this is what we're seeing a lot now. What I just wanted to say is I just find it's so incredible, like whenever we have conversations, how we always receive the similar kind of information, but you have it from your source energy interpretation, and I have it from my source energy interpretation, and then they just mesh together completely. And I just love that, because one thing they did say yesterday in that meeting, every single galactic member that was there said, this one has a earth consciousness that is currently a baby. This one has an earth consciousness that is currently an elderly woman. This one has an earth consciousness that is me. This one has an earth consciousness that is a middle-aged man raging in anger. And this one has an earth consciousness with a child that is being diagnosed with some sort of illness, or this or that, or this or that.
Mhm.
And what they said is these earth consciousnesses are focused on the stories within their experience, and they're not following their path of remembrance, which is obviously destiny. And destiny will show up eventually. It is just, it will catch up with you if you don't follow that path to a sense, or you think you're meant to go this way, but actually you're meant to go that way. Destiny will show up to redirect you. It's your higher self. It's your higher self who is like, no, remember, before we incarnated, we decided we're going to do this because this is what we chose to experience. But then your earth consciousness is like, I don't want to do that. I want to win the lottery.
Yeah.
But your higher self is like, that's not going to bring you the growth that, you wanted. So I just find it really interesting how beautifully meshed our communication is. I love it.
I love it. I love it. But it just shows as well that energy cannot lie. Energy doesn't lie. Energy just is. And the more that we allow ourselves to truly, truly communicate and connect with energy, we will find the most purest truth that there is, not only individually for ourselves, but also collectively. And then in that truth, we master, ascend, and grow and expand, right? So as you were saying, she was whispering to me that everything, yes, absolutely has a formula, and everything has a blueprint. Yes, right? So there's formula for manifestation, there's formula to achieve success in certain things. There's formulas, for certain things for sure. But what she's saying to me is that those formulas aren't meant to work the same for everyone. And if you notice that a lot of powerful achievements have happened in human experience history, is when someone always went outside of the formula. What do you think that is? That is destiny in your face. You can't ignore that. You can't go around that, because if we all just follow the formula like little hamsters over and over and over and over, over and over and over and over, there's no expansion in that. It's a cycle that never ends. But destiny shows up, and destiny and your source self, which, let's use the terms highest potential of self, which is your source self. They are like twin queens. They work together, kings, right? Whatever energy you want to use. So she's telling me destiny works with your highest potential of self. So if winning the lottery or being a rich man or woman isn't in the highest potential for you, no matter what blueprints you follow, no matter what formula you follow, no matter what program you follow, it's not gonna align. If it does align, it doesn't stay. So a lot of people feel like failure, or a lot of people feel like they're doing something wrong, or they're not doing enough, or they're just not getting it, or this is all BS. The thing is, it's not. Formulas, blueprints do exist. But so does destiny. And the minute that you learn how to connect with that element, because destiny is within us all, every single one. I don't care what planet you come from. I don't care if you're Palladian, Arcturian, if you're a fairy, or like whatever you come from, whatever your energetic source element is, you are bind to destiny. You are here for a purpose, and only your destiny can reveal that purpose to you. It's not a program. It's not somebody else's experience. I also see she is showing me that so many people are embodying other people's experiences and feeling that that's gonna get them there. So if you're telling me your success story, and I want to be successful like you, now I'm being programmed to embody your success story so that I can be successful. And destiny says you can do that all you want. But if you're not destined to be successful, you won't be. So you're going to keep going around the circle, trying to figure out how the hell am I, like, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. You are not connecting to your destiny. So I would love to have your perception on the best way to connect with that predestined element that is the highest potential of self within you.
Absolutely. For me, what I have recently discovered on how to have the most enjoyable experience here is not to resist the destiny and the path that is being shown to you right now. Because I've told you, I've been on a journey the last 2.5 months outside of the usual space that I lived in. And I resisted it so much. Being outside of that space, also wanting to be here, but also wanting to just keep going back to where I was. So I was in this resistance for a few months, a month and a half, I would say, of the time period. And it wasn't a flow of energy. There was a lot of like, you know, like this kind of like, I don't know which way, stuck, feeling what's happening, that kind of thing. It was constantly an energy of that. But the moment that I dropped the resistance and went into acceptance, I started to see how destiny was being laid out in front of me, how the destined path is being shown to me. I am absolutely exactly where I'm meant to be for the last few months that I've been, you know, about and in this space that I am now. And when I went into that acceptance, that complete non-resistance, I started to understand the communication coming in for my own life path experience, why it is that I am where I am right now, why it is that I went where I went, you know, and why it is that I am moving towards a specific energy that I'm moving towards. To find myself right now in a space, like I was telling you earlier, of excitement all the time. It is a space where you are like, well, what's next? You know, like, show me. Like, I just need to show up.
Yeah, show me.
It's like, because now you've gone out of those restraints of the code, you know, going like this in your mind, the one going, I need to be there, I need to do that, that expectation, that need or want or desire, but it's not coming in, you know. If that is the code that's looping, and it's, I would say it's a smaller representation of the bigger representation of what we call reincarnation as well, you know, like the wheel of life. So I was constantly running that code of, I need to go back, putting myself in the restraints of resistance. And once I went outside of the box and started asking myself, but what if I can just be happy where I am right now and allow myself to be where I am right now? Because if you do that, this is when that non-resistance starts to lower its walls.
Yeah.
And you start to see like, oh my gosh, this is why I'm here.
Yeah.
This is why I came here. This is why I'm doing this. And now you're constantly in that space of, well, what's next? You know, what's next? Of like that excitement. You can't wait to just flow with this space and this energy that you're in, because it's so exciting. Because you don't know, tomorrow there might be some sort of unexpected, incredible, this is what, you know, the last month has been like. Unexpected realizations or manifestations that come in, and you're like, oh my gosh, like why was I so worried? You know,
Right.
Why was I just keeping myself there? So it's like, to just come back to the bigger picture, you know, when you asked me to tune into this energy, I just immediately saw almost like two people holding hands, and I received its higher self and destiny. They walk hand in hand. They have, destiny is the frequency that has assisted, that is assisting your higher self with the path that the higher self has chosen, the source energy has chosen to take.
Yes.
And
yes.
this is how it's going to be, you know, and it's always an exciting journey if you follow that path.
Yes.
That is that is what I would call, like a Course in Miracles call it the happy dream, because you're walking out of that, this is what I need to do, instead of this is what I want to do energy. Does that make sense?
I love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. It makes sense.
That is just the feeling I got when you asked that question. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is where I've been now, the last month.
And okay, so it feels wonderful is the only way I can explain it. So to all our viewers, I want you to know that you don't have to have like an intuitive of anything to be able to connect to. We are all intuitive in our own different ways. But what she's saying to me, and I'm only referring to Destiny as she, because that's how she presented herself to me. She presented me an embodiment of this beautiful feminine vibration that is like a queen that just rules, that guides, you know, more like a sage as well. But if you connect to Destiny and you feel masculine energy and you feel that wise, you know, kind of like grandfather energy, like Destiny will come to you in a frequency that is relatable to you, right? So all you have to do is just allow yourself to connect with that energy. And what she's telling me is that Destiny is never forceful. It doesn't feel forceful. So when you're going through experiences of life and you're feeling like you're forcing something to happen, like you're just forcing and forcing and forcing, that's your number one communicator that you are not in the path of the highest and best potential. Therefore, you are resisting Destiny. Okay, so when you are forcing something, you are resisting what's actually meant to happen, because what's meant to happen, which is destiny, is going to happen anyways. By creating resistance, like you were talking about, you just preventing yourself, you dragging it out, you making it so much, you creating the element of suffering for yourself. Instead of, if you, like you said, if you just come into acceptance and alignment and just say, okay, let me hear you, show me, and you start fully paying attention and everything just flows like butter, then you know you are in your highest and best element. And when you're in your highest and best element, your life becomes the highest and best experiences of your life. That's energy. That's just energy. And you are energy, and I am energy. Destiny is energy. Grace is energy. Love, hope is all energy. And they all coexist and they all work together. So, as a co-creator, the best thing that you can do for yourself is to tune into the vibration of your highest potential of self and allow yourself to experience your destiny to its fullest potential. It would show you, it would be in your face. And if you're forcing it and resisting it, then you're out of that element. You are not fulfilling your destiny. You are not fulfilling your purpose. That is what I am receiving. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
So I want to read you this real quick. It says, love is the mother, compassion, kindness, and grace. Wisdom is the father, intellect, intuition, inner power. Destiny is the source self, the creation from love and the wisdom. The soul experience, the expression. So karma is the cause and effect of your destiny. It's your soul sister, right? That's what they're giving me. And the ego is the director of the destiny, which is your soul brother. Because destiny doesn't always have to be negative and bad. Some people have beautiful destinies, powerful, lovely experience. Ego is not as bad as everybody, the enemy that they make it to be. It's a soul brother. Ego can actually be such an empowering and self-worth and self-love aspect. It's your soul brother. Destiny is your soul sister. You are the soul experience. And so they showed me, I don't know if you can see over here, the triangle, the power of three, which is destiny, karma, and ego. If you combine those three together and you learn how to work with those elements, infusing it with your mother, which is love, and infusing it with the wisdom, which is your father element, I mean, life is just incredible.
Yes, and I just want to show you this, because you pretty much just said what I wrote today as well. So this is part of the light language document that I was editing it today, specifically to send it out to someone. I just felt that I had to tune in more. Okay, so if we are sound, then why does the light drive vibrational frequency? This is the beauty of it all. In our 0-point frequency, they all equal each other. This is exactly what you just said. Ever heard of the term as above, so below, so below, so above? We are currently in the experience of light below. All the images you see is made up of a specific vibrational frequency, forming images from frequency into light energy. So therefore, light needs to drive the frequency from our experience, because we are harmonizing from below to above, but truly into center. And that just, when you said that, it just resonated, because you said ego, destiny, and what was the other one? Karma needs to come in and create that resonance. So it is almost like it is a part to energy, frequency, vibration as well. Yeah. So which one would you say is the energy? I would say ego is the energy, because that's the experience. Karma would probably be the vibration. Yeah. And destiny would be the frequency driving that vibration. Absolutely. energetic experience. You see, it's just when you said that, it's almost like they said, hey, this is what we said today as well, just in the other, form of the experience of that
Yeah,
specific session. So I
absolutely.
just I just find it so cool. It's
I
so
love it.
beautifully explained, Vera. Like I love, love, love how you just explained all of this.
But even what you just said, that is so beautiful.
There's more. So truly into the center, when they are all harmonized and comes into the 0 point frequency, energy, frequency, and vibration are equal and no polar opposites exist. As they come into an equal, they form from a separated state into a unified state of wholeness.
Yeah,
Therefore, operating from the neutral frequency naturally creates experiences that represents wholeness.
I love it. So you want me
For
to, okay,
example,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna give you my translation of what you just said. I love
Yes,
how we
please.
speak different languages, but we say, like you said, we say
Saying
the
the
same
same.
thing.
Yeah.
So in my translation, when you start to understand that your karmic field drives your destiny, that works with your ego. So, and when you start working with all of that together, you truly become your wholeness, your centered self. You start understanding that
Yes.
all the things that we perceive, whether bad or good, awful, terrible, or joyful, happy, like everything that we perceive as an experience here, and we put whether a bad or good thing on it, comes from everything comes from that trio, right?
Yes. And that's the 3, 6, and 9 as well.
The 3, 6, and 9, the Holy Trinity.
Yes.
It
Yes.
comes from your karma, driven by your destiny, and directed by your ego. I really, really want people to understand that ego is not your enemy. Ego is actually a
Yes.
powerful force of co-creation. It's your ego that's
Yes.
telling you to go for that raise in your job or to apply for that better career. Like it's your ego that's telling you, yes, you deserve that love. You deserve that partnership. You deserve to be loved the way that you want to be loved. It's
Yes.
ego is actually a very healthy element to our spirit, to our soul. And it's the director, but the karma, what sets the destiny into play, your karmic field. So people that are experiencing, in our perception, very awful things in life, that's because it's part of their soul and expansion driven by destiny, because in their past life or in their future life, right? Remember, like, we can't live in the past or in the future, but just to be able to understand how karma works. If in your past life you had a certain kind of experience, in this life you will have a different experience that reflects that experience to continue the expansion that's driven by
Yeah,
your destiny. It's
exactly.
just that simple. So all the suffering, let's say, that's happening in this world, it's only suffering because we perceive it this way, but honestly it's an expansion of the trinity, of this highest potential of self. Just like all the joy and all the beauty and all the love and compassion and kindness, there's so much of that that is happening in
Yes.
this world, is also driven by your ego, by your karma, and by your destiny.
It's like I would like to expand a little bit on this because I work so much with this in the theta sessions that I do. And there was once a question asked, why did we why does this experience need to happen? Like, it is a traumatic experience, say. And that is quite cruel. That is what was said. Why did this cruel experience have to happen? And you know what the higher self said, or the source energy said? There is no cruelty in love, only the meaning that you attach to it. And that was like, you know, when that was said, it was like,
Yeah.
It's like, this is what you're explaining, basically. And we have decided to come here. I mean, I just heard this again in another session we did just last week, that the catalysts were placed in this specific life experience for them to come into that non-resistance state, that acceptance state. It doesn't mean now you have to accept whatever the trauma is, that this is your lot, you know, like this is where you need to be. It means if you're going to go into the space of non-resistance, this is exactly what happened when I went through my illness as well. This is how I healed from it, or became into the remembrance of my wholeness of it, is I literally took that illness and I fell in love with it. And because I created that love for the experience, it took me out of the experience.
Yeah. And you also, once you did that, you took yourself out of the victim frequency.
Exactly. So now people are probably going to ask, how can you love something that is painful, or that is hurting you, or that is creating sadness and despair and, you know, trauma and all the, you know, frequencies that we can name one after the other.
Yeah.
What I mean by loving the experience was I came to the acceptance that the experience of the illness that I had was there for me to use, to create from. That is what I mean. That is the love that I mean. It meant I didn't resist the illness anymore, fight against it,
right.
But went into, all right, why is this in my reality? What is it here to teach me? What is it showing me? What is it trying to tell me? That kind of experience, instead of like, oh, woe is me, I'm so sick, you know? I went into, but why? Why is it here? I became interested in the energy, seeing the energy as, well, if you're here, then you must be valuable, you know? And when that part of me, that energy of illness that I had, was acknowledged for the fact of existing, that's when it went. That's when it was like, oh my gosh, my job's done. You know, like I came here to be acknowledged.
That is the most, yes.
Yeah.
That is the most beautiful representation of destiny and ego and karma in harmonious flow.
Yes, because literally
your experience is the most beautiful representation of communicating and having a connection and a relationship with your destiny and karmic and ego flow.
Yeah, that's the thing, because when we get sick or when we get an illness, we're immediately like, I don't want it. This is bad. Get out of here. Dismissing it. And I think this is a very good opportunity to start talking about, instead of letting go, to let in, because that is exactly what happened in that moment, because I was ill and the next moment I was not. It was literally like from one moment to the next, and it never happened again. I never got ill again. And so coming to the concept of letting go. So we love this term. or the community love to say, you need to let go of that. You need to let go of this. This doesn't serve me. This doesn't work. This is not good for me, or this is bad for me. I don't want this, dismissal of energy. But if we are whole and we are essentially in the, larger aspect of things, one, why would you dismiss a part of yourself? Because if you do that, you're literally just going to fragment yourself further, putting yourself in that delayed experience, like you spoke earlier.
Yes, 100%.
So, yes. So, if you want to let go of, say, an illness or self-worth, you want self-worth, non-self-worth, if you want to let go of those kinds of things, that self-worth, non-self-worth issue is in your reality to be there for you, to work with the energy. That illness I had, that energy was there for me to show me how to create. It was my canvas to create from. It is my canvas to come into harmony and step into that flow of destiny and higher self, working
how powerful
together
you are
on the path. Yes. So instead of letting go, when you have an energy in your experience, be it an illness, a trauma, whatever it may be, we all have something that we always say, I need to let go of. An addiction, this, that, whatever it may be. Whatever you're experiencing in your life that you feel you need to let go of, ask yourself, what is this energy trying to teach me? What is this energy trying to communicate to me? Connect with that energy, because essentially, if you are all of it, then that is a part of you. And if you're going to push it away, you're just fragmenting yourself further. That's why you need to bring it in to the 0 point energy, that harmonization energy. This is where you see this is where you see miracles happen. This is where you see that experience of that person was so just destined to be in this and doing that, like you said earlier. So when you want to let go of something, acknowledge that energy, thank it for being there, grateful. There we go, back to gratefulness again. Gratitude is such a harmonizing energy within your experience. It's almost like if I were going to put gratitude into energy embodiment, it would be like harmonization, when you hear two beautiful notes coming together. So have gratitude for that aspect of yourself. What I even said to that illness of mine, I said to my illness, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing me. Thank you for showing me what it is that I can be, because it has shown me what I can also be with it, but it showed me what I could also be, which is healthy. Because if I didn't experience the illness, I would never even acknowledge that my health. This is what happens with so many people. They walk through life and they don't even acknowledge or give gratitude that they're healthy. Because they don't think about it, because they're sitting in a frequency where there is no canvas to create from. So there's nothing wrong with being healthy. I'm just saying we need to give gratitude to our experiences. So when you let in, is acknowledge the energy and motion that is presenting itself. Thank it for being there, and allow it to become part of your 0 point energy, because within the 0 point energy, it gets literally neutralized in that
Yes.
harmonization. And this is when you can transcend it into a healthy body, or a bad experience to a good experience, or this experience to that experience, or this energy to that energy. So it's a very much similar to what you've probably heard about Ho'oponopono before. I
Yes.
think Ho'oponopono works. Yeah, I think it works very similar. I've never studied it, but I heard that this is a very similar technique. Thank it, love it, say to it, I love you, thank you for being here. And, you know, when you do that, that means whatever that bad experience is, it is acknowledged through unconditional love.
This is very powerful what you just said.
Yes.
We don't acknowledge our experiences. We don't give it, like, especially all the negative experiences or bad experience, suffering experiences. We don't acknowledge their value, because we just stay in a form of, this is awful, this is should not be, this is wrong, and blah, 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 all the other stuff that we are so programmed. This better than this, not that, this is, you know what I mean?
Yes.
The way to truly, if you, whoever is listening, if you really, really are driven or feel like it's your purpose to do something important when it comes to suffering, the best thing you can do is acknowledge that those experiences are valuable.
Yes.
And I know it's really hard, because I know in our perception, the stuff that are happening out in this world are so fucked up, you know?
Yeah.
But if we can tune into unconditional love, which is the purest essence of self, and understand that those experiences are valuable, and not to judge the karmic field of that individual soul, or two individual souls, or a group of individual souls that are going through that experience. We have to understand that if it wasn't valuable, it wouldn't be happening.
Exactly. Yes. And this is why there are polarities, and why you can have the negative experiences and the positive experiences, is because if you're sitting in that 0 point, you're sitting in that source energy, and source is like, but I want to experience all of it. You see, and therefore that soul aspect that is having that experience within that karmic field that is negative or whatever, it's a chosen experience that is exists within the entirety of all of it.
Predestined experience as well.
Yes.
It's a predestined experience. Nobody comes and says, hey, like, I'm just like, you say, like, I truly, truly have been shown so much how a lot of those experiences are actually predestined experience. Not every single moment of your life is predestined, but experiences that really, really affect your life in a loving, joyful, harmonious, graceful way, as well as sad and painful and heartbreaking way, like all, like the experiences that you could really look back and notice that there was a shift. Those are predestined experiences. You can't avoid them. That's how we grow. That's how we shift out of suffering, by fulfilling all of our karmic fields to the expansion point of suffering is no longer a suffering.
Exactly. It's actually a beautiful dance. That's what it is.
It is.
And you know, just to help people understand to whoever is listening, what this means is that there is nothing you can do to change anyone, to say to anyone, they need to wake up, they need to do this, those people are bad, they need to go there. There is nothing you need to do. All you need to do is focus on your own predestined path. And if you do that, and bring in those aspects, that trio that you were talking about, integrating them into this 0 point, which is everything coming together. This is where you go onto your predestined path, go with your flow of energy, and then become that powerful being that leads through example.
I also want to point, yes,
Yes,
absolutely, exactly what you said, leads by example, and which I also want to point out that destiny speaks really loud. You can't avoid it. So if it's part of your destiny and your purpose to be a hero or heroine, to do something so drastic to that point, if you really pay attention to those people that really, really did shift a lot of human experiences in history, it was always done by showing up in the highest potential of self. It was never done by trying, like, we approach life with must fix, must heal, must make better. The heroes or the people that really have like mind-blowing divine destinies, they show up with the only element, must love.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Not trying to fix you, not trying to tell you there's something wrong with you, not trying to heal you.
Yes.
Just love you. Because in that purest essence of self, everything just rises up to that energy, to that frequency.
Yeah.
So giving somebody a hand, that's love, unconditional love. Doing things for animal rights, that's unconditional love. Like approaching things through the purest essence of self. And if it's your destiny to make a huge impact, you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're not meant to be all heroes. We're not meant to be all saviors. We're not meant to be all, so the best thing you can do is just connect with those three elements: your healthy ego, your healthy karmic field, and your destiny's frequency, which are gonna align you in your 0 point, in your center, as you say, Ali, bring you right here to move through that neutrality point of unconditional love. Nothing's wrong, nothing's right. It just is. Love is love, sadness is sadness, joy is joy.
And how many people do this on a daily basis is just beautiful. I saw this every day in my career in the hospital, where you see very, very ill patients and they go into this acceptance, and all of a sudden they're fine. And they walk out of there healthy. This happens. I've seen it. And this is that acceptance of, well, I'm not going to resist this anymore. This is also not the energy of, I'm not going to fight this anymore. It is that neutrality of, I accept my life path. I accept what was decided by me, essentially. And when that acceptance occurs, this is when you see that spontaneity spontaneous remission. Many people go out and go for this whole, I need to make this right, or I need to do this, I need to do that before I go,
Mhm.
And as they come into acceptance of all these experiences that somehow cause them trauma in their experience, it's also the same situation. They step into this remission or this sudden healing, to a sense, this wholeness experience. And I just want people to know and hear that you are literally creating miracles every single day. You don't need a ascended master to perform a miracle. You are doing it yourself when you come into that acceptance of your experience that you're having and not resisting it and just flowing with that beautiful neutral energy that just like when you watch the surface of the ocean on the calm day, it's just the beautiful resonance. Everything is perfect. The weather is perfect. The breeze is perfect. The water is perfect. That is the sense of feeling that I get when you step out of that resistance. And everyone is capable of this, because when you step into this beautiful flow of your highest potential, like you said, it is only an experience of wholeness. That's what comes from it. Because if you're remembering your wholeness, you're literally creating the representative images of wholeness. And this is why you go from sick to health. And, this is when I feel you were talking about when it all comes together. This is where destiny also becomes that energy of the higher self, being source energy, all being source energy, and then representing that source energy as well. And this is what we call miracles.
Yeah. And when you allow yourself to remember your wholeness and to embody your wholeness, in that moment, you allow the destiny to unfold in front of you. And whether you're sick and you become unsick, or whether you're sick and then you end up transitioning, that's another conversation perhaps for another time, is talking about death. It has such a stigma, like death is such an awful thing, which death is literally just moving from one element to another. It's not, yes, those once we're gone, those that love us will miss us. I love Keanu Reeves said that. I love him, such a beautiful soul. He was asked, Keanu, what do you think happens when you die? And he just said, well, I don't know exactly what happens, but I know that those that love us will miss us. That's it.
I know. Oh, I remember.
It's literally just that. Of course, we will be missed. And when our loved ones transition, we will miss them. But it's literally just a shift of energy. It's literally just a shift of energy. Right? Just like being sick and then remembering your wholeness, that is essentially a shift of energy too. So and when you are in your full embodiment of wholeness and you fully allow destiny to take place and you harmonize it with your karmic fields, which karmic fields is your karmic pattern, right? And you fully allow that to harmonize with your ego self, which is your self-empowerment, your masculine energy, your wisdom, your intellect. I mean, there's so much beauty. Then manifestation and alignment becomes like so graceful. Because then through your destiny, your karmic, and your ego self, you are able to step into that co-creator and manifest and align the most beautiful experiences in life. I mean, do you see how it all just blends together? So it's not just one formula. This is what you must follow to achieve this. We're not on that vibration anymore. We're not on that frequency anymore. This was our ancestors.
Yeah. We're in a frequency of completely embodying all of it that we are.
Yes. Yes.
And it is such a beautiful experience. And, you know, all you need to do is focus on you. Focus on your energy. Don't worry about what's going on out there. If you focus on your energy, if your energy harmonizes, you're going to create so much beauty that the person next to you is going to want, you know, be attracted like a magnet to that energy as well, and also want to do that and follow their destiny and their energy. This is how, you know, this is almost like, you know, like a wildfire. Once one thing burns, or one light is shining here, you know, the next thing takes fire, the next thing takes flame, the next thing takes flame. This is all we need to do, is come back to self, to yourself, because that's the only thing that you can control. That's the only thing you can choose for. And I think that is what's being missed right now. The point that is being missed, because many are still so externally focused on what's happening over there and happening over here. And this one is doing this way, you know, that kind of thing. If you just stay in the power of your energy and flow with your energy, it's amazing how the environment around you then shifts and changes for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Lee, before I let you go, I also was asked to bring this up. You know how you said when you were stepping into your wholeness and you started to bring in the element of love, and you started to ask why. Okay, you're here. I'm acknowledging you. You're here. And that element of starting to communicate to your illness essentially, and ask why, right? You're asking the purpose, which is in that moment connecting to the destiny of, because purpose is destiny, right? And the I love that you asked yourself why. This is also a very power tool, huge power tool, very big power tool. And I want to encourage our viewers, our tribe, our community, to start doing that with everything. Everything. When you have a desire, not through here, but when you have a desire through here, the best way to find out if it's part of your destiny is to ask yourself, why? Why do you desire such thing? And I bet it's going to unfold and peel like an onion. And if after it's fully peeled, you say, yes, this is my destiny, it will unfold gracefully. But if you start peeling back the onions and you start realizing that it's just the programming, that's what somebody expecting you to want this thing, somebody like, you know, you start learning things even more about yourself and discovering more things about yourself. And at the end of the day, you're going to like shift to something else. You're going to realize, okay, I thought I want this, but I don't. And because it's not in my highest potential, it is not part of my destiny, and you move on to the next thing. You know, like I'll give you an example. I spent 3 years in Montreal, Canada, from 10 to 13, and it was one of the best years of my life. I had so much fun there. I loved it. So when I grew up and I started my own family, like I was so driven. I was like, I belong in Canada. I belong in Canada, to the point like my husband is Canadian, right? So I had everything set up, like, but I never asked myself why. I never truly asked myself, why do I have this drive to move to Canada and to live there? And so I did. I manifested like everything was just going gracefully. We moved to Canada. My husband got the job that he wanted. We found a perfect home. My kids went to beautiful school. I was miserable. I was miserable. I was not destined at all to live in Canada. And so there we go, packed everything, sold everything, come back here. Only then, after having that experience, I could have saved myself. Have I done this method of going in and tuning in and asking the question why and peeling the onion and truly connecting to my purpose and my destiny, I would have saved myself $20,000. I would have saved myself, like, valuable experience. I'm valuing that experience. But after we came back and I sat with myself and I started asking, why did I really need to have this experience? And it all like peeled back beautifully into this blossom. And I realized, like this was because of this and so. And so some of it is private things and involves my family. So I'm not going to mention, but what I want to make a point of is, it's not hard to connect with your purpose. It's not hard to connect with your destiny, with your co-creativeness, just ask yourself why. Everything you want to do, everything you want to have in your life, everything you envision for yourself, even if you want to, the experiences that you wish you've never had, allow yourself that. Allow yourself to sit there and ask yourself why. I guarantee there's always purpose and effect and a cause and a motive in it. I guarantee you will find that.
Exactly. And I just want to add, before we sign off for the night, that think of these experiences that you don't want necessarily as other consciousnesses, other people. Like, I remember what I did was I actually created my illness in a shape and a color and everything, because I was studying hypnosis at that time, and we always work with all the senses when you study traditional hypnosis. So when I started asking myself, why is this experience in my life, I gave it a personality as well. I envisioned, what do you look like? What do you feel like? What do you communicate in those colors as well?
Yeah.
Like, I created that bad thing into a aspect of me that can also communicate. It's also a consciousness. And you know what it showed up as? Like, you will think something that is bad is some blackness that looks like, I don't know, some sort of virus or something like that. You know what it showed up as? A beautiful white pearlescent sphere.
Yeah.
And when it showed up like that, I totally felt so at peace with its presence in my reality.
Yeah.
And seeing it as something that is beautiful, that is supposed to be bad, made it possible for me to integrate it and bring it into acceptance and thanking it for being in my life, and therefore loving it.
Yeah.
So
it's powerful.
So I thank you so much, Vera. This is a very valuable conversation, and I know there's going to be many more, and I look forward to having them with you. So bye for now, everyone.
Bye for now.